Hey guys, Thermo here. This is going to be a bit of a different video. It's a re-release of a video I did years ago on Mister Metokur. Some of you may know him, some of you may not. It appears Jim has passed away. He had a very long battle with what we all jokingly referred to, and he himself referred to as cancer AIDS. But yeah, it seems like he may have lost that battle. So yeah, it's a bit sad, but we all knew it was coming. So yeah, here it is. This is this video put together from a stream he did, I think 3 years ago. I thought it was a good rant, I guess, for lack of a better term. So yeah, here it is. Thanks.
I think anybody pretty much knows the reality of what we're dealing with online at this point, don't you? We all experience it daily at this point. It is a very restrictive environment. If you say things that aren't considered to be what's promoted, you're deplatformed, or you're banned, or you're thrown off, or you're demonetized. We saw that coming. I talked about that years ago. So did a lot of other people. I mean, it was very obvious kind of the direction it was heading. Clean up the internet, commercialize it more, get rid of the elements we don't like, segregate them out, and silence them. And that's gone on now for quite some time, to the point where I bet if you wanted to go on Twitter or on Facebook or on YouTube, where we are right now, there are just things you can't say. There are opinions you can't say. And that happens to everybody. I know Ralph likes to go on about, oh, Daddy Jim won't say a bad word on YouTube. How many bad words is Ralph saying on that verified Twitter account? None. Because he knows if he does, it's gone. You know if you say certain things, you're gone. And so we exist in an internet where there are few and far between places where people can go and say what they want to say. Now, I know there's been a big argument about how are people going to defend Kiwi Farms. I'm not going to sit here and tell you Kiwi Farms is a great place. It's a shit heap. And I love it that it's a shit heap. It's a place where people go and they're mean. And they say mean shit. Kiwi Farms is a place where people go to gossip and be assholes. And there aren't very many of those places left. They get knocked off every year. As the main social media platforms and the main video platforms get more restrictive, these secondary sites, which some are large and some are small, are getting knocked off one by one. There used to be an 8chan, doesn't exist anymore. Now they want to get rid of Kiwi Farms. Encyclopedia Dramatica, whether it's up or down, do you think that's going to last? And then what do you have left? 4chan? How long do you think 4chan is going to last? Got rid of 8chan, want to get rid of Kiwi, want to get rid of Ed. What do you think is going to happen to 4chan then? There's your anonymous image board. It's going to go. And then you will really have nowhere to go. When those large providers, whether they're an image board or a forum, are gone, the places that let you say the things you want to say, to be an asshole like you really are, like we all really are at heart, when they're gone, they're fucking gone. There'll be small places. They'll exist fractionally, but they won't be loud. You'll be presented with the choice of say what you want and have no one hear it, or say what we tell you and be allowed in the conversation. That's what useful idiots do. That's what grifters and con men perpetuate. They knock out the places you like to go to say the things you want to say, and when they serve their purpose, they're cannonballed out and nobody remembers them, but the damage is left behind. This fight between Kiwi Farms and Keffels is part of that. You know, these pieces and players aren't as important as that overarching conversation. If you let them do what they're trying to do right now, it won't end with Kiwi Farms just like it didn't end with 8chan. It will continue on. Think of the amount of places that used to let you do stuff that don't anymore. Look at the saga of Something Awful. Even before Lotex went crazy on his goldberry cookies or whatever the fuck they were, and all the shit that happened with him, you could see the transformation slowly become more restrictive until he was forced out and had to sell, and then it became more censored. Look at something like NeoGAF and Reset Era. It got so bad that eventually the fucking site broke in half because it was so fucking restrictive. And it was their argument wasn't that it was too restrictive. It wasn't restrictive enough. We need Reset Era. We need to make it even more authoritarian. I bet there are a lot of websites that you use, whether it's well-known 2.0 social media or even the older shit, where you just can't fucking say anything anymore. You just can't. And that's a horrible kind of internet to have. Yes, people are going to be assholes on Kiwi Farms. Yes, people are going to say atrocious shit. Yes, they're going to make shit up just to get a laugh. Yeah, they're going to do all sorts of shit. But that's the fucking internet. Or that's what the internet was, when people could say what the fuck they wanted to say. Now, Keffels wants to attribute deaths to Kiwi Farms and say people were driven to suicide. I don't believe it. I outright reject it. I don't believe that's true. But let's take an example of where that could be true. Let's talk about 4chan. How many fucking times, I can't even count how many times I've seen somebody blow their fucking head off with a shotgun because of R9K. How many suicide threads do you think you've seen on 4chan? I've seen a few. How many murder threads have you seen on 4chan? I've seen a few. So if the justification to get rid of Kiwi Farms is that, I guarantee you the pressure that will be mounted will be on 4chan next. I guarantee it. They won't stop. They're not going to say, oh, well, we think people killed themselves because of Kiwi Farms. They're going to pull up WebMs of people blowing their heads off with shotguns and say, look, that's 4chan. That's R9K, that's Pol, that's B. That needs to be getting rid of. That needs to be taken down, needs to be sanitized. Can't sell a Toyota with that here. That is not an internet I fucking want. That's not an internet you should want. We shouldn't be co-signing quickened death of the last few places where you can actually just fucking talk on the internet. And that's what we're dealing with. Is Josh Moon a good person? No, probably not. Is Kiwi Farms a good website? No, it's a shit heap. Should it be ripped off the internet? No, absolutely not. Should we be letting people like Keffels dictate where we can go and what we can say? Fuck no. Is Keffels a freedom fighter? Nope. Is Keffels looking to make money and get popular? Most definitely. So I'm glad our little wizard boy found a way to keep the website up. I look forward to watching what happens with this. I'm sure it'll develop. I'm sure there's going to be an organization made. It just seems like the next natural step to make lots more money. Will Kiwi Farms win the day at the end? Will they stay up? I don't know. Shit could turn on a dime, man. The internet moves fast. But if they go down, others will too. You know, 8chan went down. A couple years later, Kiwi goes down. And then you got Ed and 4chan. And once they're gone, what do you have? Where are you going to go? What are you going to say? You're going to be muzzled like we're all muzzled on every social media platform and every streaming platform. And it's not even going to be just, that small nudge towards not saying certain words. It's going to devolve into every place becoming like Twitch, where even if something is said that isn't directed at anybody, but it's, an opinion they don't like, you're gone. If you behave off-platform in a way they don't like, you're gone. That's the kind of, pressure you're going to start feeling once all these other places are gone. And if you're a smaller site, a smaller image board, or a smaller forum, your ass is going to get chopped in half at the first sign of trouble. You're going to get your shit pushed in because you're too small to fight back. Part of this is, given its size, Kiwi Farms, same would happen with 4chan and a few others, at least can get attention on it so people can watch this circus play out. But yeah, just watch social media, watch how they behave and what they say, and it's clear as day that Keffels is in this not for the good fight, but to make money, to get popular, and to throw their weight around. That's all it is. And they'll sacrifice a good time and opinions they don't like to make that happen. By buying a goddamn American capitalist hat. Oh, gotta use that USA dollars to do it.